Dr. Jake Morrison walked into the white room on the space station. His hands were a little shaky, but he tried to stay calm. Today was the most important day in human history. The aliens were coming to meet them for the first time. Jake looked out the big window at the stars. 6 months ago, alien ships had appeared near Earth. They said they came in peace. They wanted to learn about humans and share knowledge. Now, finally, they were going to meet face to face. The door made a soft sound as it opened. Jake turned around and saw them. The aliens were tall and thin, much taller than humans. Their skin looked like glass that changed colors. Right now, their skin was a light purple color. Jake had studied their files. Purple meant they were calm and peaceful. "Welcome to our space station," Jake said. He spoke slowly and clearly. The aliens had machines that could translate their words, but Jake wanted to make sure they understood. The leader of the aliens stepped forward. His name was Ambassador Veltar, but Jake found it hard to say the name right. The alien skin was now a soft blue color, which meant he was interested and happy. "Thank you, Dr. Morrison," the alien said through his translation machine. "We are very excited to be here. My people have traveled across the galaxy for many years. We have met 47 different types of smart beings like yourselves." Jake felt amazed. 47 different alien species. Earth had always wondered if they were alone in the universe. Now they knew they were just one of many. "We brought pictures and information about our world," Jake said. "We want to show you what makes Earth special." The aliens sat down in special chairs that had been made for them. There were 5 aliens in total. Ambassador Veltar was the leader. The others were scientists and helpers. Their skin colors kept changing as they looked around the room. "On our world, we love to learn about other planets," Veltar explained. "Every world is different. Every type of life has its own story. We want to hear Earth's story." Jake smiled. He had been chosen for this job because he knew a lot about Earth's animals and plants. He had spent his whole life studying how life worked on their planet. "Earth is a very old world," Jake began. "Life has been growing and changing here for billions of years. We have many different types of animals and plants. Some of them are very strange and amazing." He turned on a big screen that showed pictures. The first picture was of a green forest with tall trees and many animals. "This is what most of Earth looks like," Jake said. "We have forests, oceans, deserts, and icelands. Animals and plants live in all these places." The aliens' skin turned bright blue. They were very interested. On their world, Zephy's Prime, everything was the same. The weather never changed. Food was always easy to find. They had never seen a world with so many different places. "Your world has many different environments," said another alien. Her name was Science Coordinator Zephyr. "How do your animals survive in such different places?" "That's the amazing part," Jake said. "Life on Earth has learned to adapt. That means animals and plants change over time to survive in new places, or when things get hard." Jake showed them pictures of fish that lived in the deep, dark ocean. He showed them birds that could fly for thousands of miles without stopping. He showed them plants that could live without water for months. "This is wonderful," Veltar said. His skin was now bright green, which meant he was excited. "Your creatures are very clever. Wait until you see what I'm going to show you next." Jake said, "We have some animals that are real survivors. They can live through almost anything." The aliens leaned forward. Their skin colors were changing quickly now, showing how interested they were. Jake had planned this meeting very carefully. He wanted to start with simple animals and then show them the most amazing ones. He had no idea that what he thought was amazing would seem terrifying to his alien visitors. "Let me show you some of our predators," Jake said. "These are animals that hunt other animals for food. He showed them pictures of lions, sharks, and eagles. The aliens watched with interest. Their own world had animals, but they were all gentle. They ate plants and never hurt each other. These hunters are very important, Jake explained. They help keep nature balanced. Without them, some animals would become too many and eat all the plants. The aliens' skin turned yellow, which meant they were surprised. They had never thought about animals hurting other animals. Do these hunters ever go hungry? Zephium asked. Oh yes, Jake said. Sometimes there isn't enough food. Sometimes the weather is bad. Sometimes other animals move away. When that happens, the hunters have to wait. How long do they wait? Veltar asked. Jake smiled. That depends on the animal. Some can wait a few days. Others can wait weeks. But I want to show you the real champions of waiting. He was about to show them the crocodiles. He had no idea that this simple choice would change everything. He thought the aliens would be impressed by how tough and smart crocodiles were. Aliens sat quietly, waiting to see what Jake would show them next. Their skin was calm blue, showing they were ready to learn. They had no idea that they were about to learn something that would shock them to their core. Jake clicked to the next picture. A huge crocodile appeared on the screen, lying in the sun, by a river. Its eyes were closed, but everyone knew it was ready to attack at any moment. Now this, Jake said with pride, is one of Earth's greatest survivors. The big crocodile on the screen looked scary even in the picture. Its mouth was full of sharp teeth. Its eyes were cold and patient. The alien visitors looked at the screen with growing worry. Their skin started to change from blue to yellow. This is called a crocodile, Jake said. He was excited to share this information. They are some of the oldest animals on Earth. They have been here for over 200 million years. Ambassador Valtar's skin turned orange, which meant he was getting nervous. 200 million years? They are very old. Yes, and they haven't changed. Much in all that time, Jake continued. That means they were already perfect for survival. They didn't need to change because they were so good at staying alive. Jake clicked to show more pictures. There were crocodiles in rivers, crocodiles on land, and crocodiles swimming underwater. Some were huge, bigger than cars. Others were smaller, but still dangerous. They are predators, Jake explained. They hunt fish, birds, and other animals. They are very patient hunters. They can wait for hours without moving, just watching for the right moment to attack. The aliens were getting more worried. Their skin was now a bright orange color. They had never seen animals that looked so dangerous. They look very fierce, said Science Coordinator Zephium. Are they dangerous to humans? They can be, Jake said. But mostly they stay away from people. They are more interested in fish and other animals. The amazing thing about crocodiles is not how dangerous they are. It's how good they are at surviving. Jake was getting to the part he was most excited about. He thought the aliens would be impressed by what he was about to tell them. Crocodiles are incredibly tough, Jake said. They can survive in hot weather and cold weather. They can live in salt water and fresh water. They can even survive when there is no food at all. No food? Beltar asked. His skin was turning a darker orange. That's right, Jake said with a big smile. Crocodiles have a very slow metabolism. That means their bodies use energy very slowly. When there is no food, they can slow down even more. Jake showed them a picture of a crocodile lying very still in the mud. When times are hard, crocodiles barely move. They breathe slowly. Their hearts beat slowly. They use almost no energy at all. The aliens were leaning forward now. Their skin was changing to colors Jake had never seen before. How long can they survive like this? Zephium asked quietly. Jake's smile got bigger. This is the amazing part. A crocodile can go for 2 whole years without eating anything at all. The reaction was instant and shocking. Every alien in the room jumped up from their chairs. Their skin flashed bright red, then purple, then colors that Jake didn't know the meaning of. They started making sounds that the translation machines couldn't handle properly. 2 years? Veltar's voice was shaking. Did you say 2 years? Yes, Jake said, confused by their reaction. Isn't that amazing? They can survive for 2 full years without any food. Their bodies are so efficient that they can live off the energy stored in their bodies for that long. The aliens were talking to each other in their own language now. Their skin was flashing bright red and deep purple. Jake could tell they were very upset, but he didn't understand why Dot double quotes Dr. Morrison. Veltar said, his voice full of horror. You are telling us that these creatures can survive without food for 2 complete trips around your sun? Well, yes, Jake said. It's one of nature's most amazing adaptations. When there's a drought, or when other animals migrate away, or when the seasons change and food becomes hard to find, crocodiles can just wait it out. The word drought made things worse. The alien skin turned an even deeper red. Some of them started making sounds that seemed like crying. Drought? Another alien asked. You mean there are times when there is no water? Sure, Jake said. Sometimes it doesn't rain for months or even years. Rivers dry up, plants die. Animals have to find new places to live, or they have to wait for the rain to come back. Now this aliens looked terrified. Their skin was colors that Jake had never seen before. Dark purples and blacks mixed with flashing reds. Your world, Veltar said slowly, has times when there is no food and no water? Well, not everywhere at once, Jake said. But yes, different parts of Earth go through hard times. That's why animals like crocodiles are so successful. They can survive when things get tough. One of the aliens ran out of the room. His skin was flashing so many colors that it hurt to look at. The others looked like they wanted to run too. Dr. Morrison, Veltar said, his voice very quiet now. On our world, there is always food. There is always water. The weather never changes. We have never heard of any world where living things must survive without food for years. Jake started to understand. These aliens came from a perfect world. They had never known hunger or thirst or harsh weather. The idea that animals might have to survive without food for 2 years was like a nightmare to them. But that's what makes Earth special, Jake said, trying to make them feel better. Our animals are tough because they have to be. They have learned to survive anything. Survive anything, Zephion repeated. Her skin was now completely black. What else must they survive? Jake realized he had made a mistake. He had wanted to impress the aliens with Earth's amazing animals. Instead, he had scared them by showing them how hard life could be on Earth. Maybe we should take a break, Jake suggested, but it was too late. The aliens had more questions now. They wanted to know about the hard times on Earth. They wanted to understand what had made animals so tough that they could survive for 2 years without food. Jake looked at the crocodile on the screen. To him, it was a symbol of nature's amazing ability to adapt and survive. To the aliens, it was proof that Earth was a world of terrible hardship. The meeting was about to get much more difficult. Dr. Lisa Harper got the emergency call while she was eating lunch. The alien meeting had gone wrong somehow. They needed her help right away. Lisa was a doctor who studied how different types of minds worked. She was an expert on how people and aliens might think differently. When Lisa arrived at the meeting room, she found chaos. 3 of the 5 aliens had left. The 2 who remained, Ambassador Veltar and Science Coordinator Zephion, were sitting in their chairs with their skin showing the darkest colors Lisa had ever seen. They looked like they were in deep sadness. What happened? Lisa asked Jake quietly. I told them about crocodiles, Jake whispered back. I told them they can survive 2 years without food. They completely lost it. Lisa looked at the aliens. Again, she had studied their culture for months. She knew that their world was very different from Earth. Their planet always had perfect weather. Food was always easy to find. They never had to worry about survival. Ambassador Veltar, Lisa said gently. I am Dr. Lisa Harper. I study how different minds work. Can you tell me what is troubling you? Veltar looked up at her. His skin was so dark, it was almost black. Dr. Harper, we need to understand something. Dr. Morrison told us about creatures that can survive without food for 2 years. Is this true? Yes, it's true, Lisa said. Crocodiles can do that. So can some other animals. But why? Zephium asked. Why would any creature need to survive without food for so long? Lisa sat down across from them. She was starting to understand the problem. Because sometimes there isn't any food available. The alien skin got even darker. No food available, Veltar repeated. This happens on your world? Yes, Lisa said carefully. Earth goes through cycles. Sometimes there is plenty of food and water. Sometimes there isn't. Animals have learned to survive the hard times. Hard times, Zephium said. Her skin was now showing streaks of what? Looked like silver mixed with the black. Lisa had never seen that pattern before. Tell us about these hard times, Veltar said. We must understand. Lisa looked at Jake. This was going to be difficult. How do you explain Earth's harsh history to beings who had never known hardship? Well, Lisa began, Earth's weather changes a lot. Sometimes it gets very hot. Sometimes it gets very cold. Sometimes it doesn't rain for a long time. When that happens, plants die. When plants die, the animals that eat plants have no food. When those animals die, the animals that eat them have no food either. The aliens were listening very carefully. Their skin was changing to new colors that Lisa didn't recognize. So the crocodiles learned to survive these times by going without food? Veltar asked. Exactly, Lisa said. Over millions of years, the crocodiles that could survive without food lived longer. They had babies. The babies that were also good at surviving without food lived longer too. After a very long time, all crocodiles became good at surviving without food. Millions of years, Zephium repeated. Your world has had these hard times for millions of years? Lisa nodded. Yes. And not just times without food. Earth has had ice ages that lasted thousands of years. We've had huge volcanic eruptions that blocked out the sun. We've had rocks from space hit our planet and kill most of the life on it. Both aliens stood up suddenly. Their skin was flashing bright red again. Rocks from space? Veltar asked, his voice shaking. Yes, Lisa said. Big asteroids. They've hit Earth several times. Each time, most of the animals and plants died. Only the toughest ones survived. The aliens sat back down heavily. Their skin was now showing patterns that Lisa had never seen before. Deep purples and blacks mixed with silver streaks. How many times has this happened? Zephium asked. We call them mass extinction events, Lisa said. There have been 5. Big ones that we know about. The most famous one killed all the dinosaurs 65 million years ago. All the dinosaurs, Veltar said quietly. An entire type of animal gone? Yes, Lisa said, but some animals survived. Crocodiles survived, small mammals survived, birds survived. They were tough enough to make it through the disaster. The aliens were quiet for a long time. Their skin kept changing colors, showing emotions that Lisa couldn't read. Dr. Harper, Veltar finally said, what about your people? What about humans? How do they survive on such a dangerous world? Lisa looked at Jake again. This was the question she had been dreading. Humans are survivors too, she said. We can adapt to almost any environment. We can live in hot deserts and cold mountains. We can survive in places where other animals can't. Can humans survive without food? Zephium asked. Lisa took a deep breath. Yes, humans can survive about 3 weeks without food. Some people have survived longer in extreme situations. The reaction was immediate. Both aliens' skin flashed bright red, then went completely black. They started making sounds that the translation machines couldn't handle. 3 weeks, Beltar said. Your people can survive 3 weeks without food. Some have survived longer, Lisa said, and immediately wished she hadn't. Beltar's skin went completely black. He stood up and walked to the window. He looked out at the stars for a long time. Dr. Harper, he said without turning around, we need to tell you something. We have traveled to many worlds. We have met many types of intelligent life, but we have never met any that could survive without food for more than a few days. Your world, Zephium added, must be a place of constant danger and hardship. Lisa was starting to understand how different their worlds really were. To the aliens, Earth sounded like a nightmare planet, where life was always struggling just to survive. It's not all bad, Lisa said. We have beautiful forests and oceans. We have amazing animals and plants. We have art and music and love. But you have all of that, Veltar said, turning back to face her, while living on a world that regularly tries to kill everything on it. Lisa had never thought about it that way before. To her, Earth was just home. It was normal. But to these aliens, Earth was a world where life survived against impossible odds. We need time to think about this, Veltar said. We need to understand what it means to live on such a world. The aliens left the room, their skin still showing the dark colors of shock and sadness. Lisa and Jake sat alone, looking at each other. I think we just scared them, Jake said. I think they're scared for us, Lisa replied. For 3 days, the aliens stayed in their rooms on the space station. They wouldn't come out. They wouldn't talk to anyone. Jake and Lisa could hear strange sounds coming from their rooms. The translation computers said the sounds were like singing, but very sad singing. On the 4th day, Ambassador Veltar finally came out. His skin was still dark, but now it had gold and silver patterns mixed in. Lisa had studied the alien color meanings, but she had never seen this combination before. Dr. Harper, Dr. Morrison, Veltar said, we would like to continue our talks, but we need to understand more about your world. We need to know how life survives on such a hard planet. Lisa and Jake had spent the 3 days preparing for this. They knew the aliens would want to know more about Earth's history. They had put together a presentation that would explain everything. We're ready to tell you, Lisa said. But we should warn you. Earth's history is full of difficult times. We need to know, Veltar said. We cannot understand your people without understanding your world. Science coordinator Zephium joined them. Her skin was also showing the new gold and silver patterns. The other aliens stayed in their rooms. Jake started the presentation. The first picture showed Earth as it looked from space. Blue oceans, white clouds, green and brown land. It looked peaceful and beautiful. This is how Earth looks today, Jake said. But it hasn't always looked like this. Our planet has changed, many times over billions of years. He showed them pictures of how Earth looked in the past. Sometimes it was covered in ice. Sometimes it was much hotter than today. Sometimes the continents were in different places. Your world changes shape? Zephium asked. Her skin was turning yellow with worry. The continents move very slowly, Jake explained. It takes millions of years, but yes, they move. Sometimes they crash into each other and make mountains. Sometimes they break apart and make new oceans. The aliens' skin was getting darker again. On their world, nothing ever changed. The land was always the same. The weather was always the same. The idea of a world that kept changing was frightening to them. But that's not the worst part, Lisa said. Earth has gone through periods of terrible disasters. Times when most of the life on the planet died. She showed them a timeline of Earth's history. There were 5 big red marks on the timeline. Each mark showed a time when most of Earth's animals and plants had died. These are called mass extinction events, Lisa explained. The first one happened 445 million years ago. The ocean got cold and poisonous. Most of the sea creatures died. Veltar's skin was now completely black with silver streaks. Most of them died? Yes, Lisa said. But some survived. The survivors had babies, and life grew back. Then, 375 million years ago, it happened again. This time, many of the fish died. She continued through the timeline. Each extinction event was worse than the last. The alien skin kept getting darker and darker. The worst one happened 252 million years ago, Lisa said. We call it the Great Dying. Huge volcanoes erupted and poisoned the air and water. 96% of all ocean life died. 70% of all land animals died. 96%, Zephium whispered. Almost everything died. Yes, Jake said. Earth became a wasteland. But some animals survived. The toughest ones. The ones that could live in terrible conditions. And the last big extinction? Veltar asked. 65 million years ago, Lisa said. A huge rock from space hit Earth. It was bigger than a mountain. The explosion was so big that it threw dust and rocks into the sky. The dust blocked out the sun for months. Most plants died because they couldn't get sunlight. The animals that ate plants died. The animals that ate those animals died too. That's when the dinosaurs died, Jake added. The aliens were quiet for a long time. Their skin was showing colors that Lisa had never seen before. But some animals survived even that, Lisa continued. Small mammals survived by hiding underground. Some birds survived. Crocodiles survived. They were tough enough to make it through the disaster. These crocodiles, Veltar said slowly, have survived all 5 extinctions? Yes, Jake said. They've been through it all. Ice ages, volcanic eruptions, asteroid impacts, poisonous air, no sunlight for months. They survived everything. That's why they can go 2 years without food, Lisa explained. They learn to survive anything. When there's no food, they wait. When there's no water, they find a way. When the world turns cold, they slow down their bodies and wait for it to get warm again. The aliens were starting to understand. Earth wasn't just a world with some hard times. It was a world that regularly tried to kill everything on it. Only the toughest creatures could survive. What about humans? Zephium asked. How did humans survive on such a dangerous world? Humans are newer than crocodiles, Lisa said. We've only been here for about 200,000 years. But we've been through ice ages, volcanic eruptions, and other disasters. And you survived, Veltar said. We did more than survive, Jake said. We learned to make tools. We learned to make fire. We learned to build shelters and grow food. We learned to work together to survive disasters. Lisa showed them pictures of humans living in different environments. Humans in hot deserts. Humans in frozen lands. Humans on high mountains where the air was thin. Humans in thick jungles. Humans can live almost anywhere, Lisa said. We adapt to whatever conditions we find. If it's cold, we make warm clothes. If it's hot, we find shade and water. If there's no food, we find new ways to get food. You said humans can survive 3 weeks. Without food, Veltar said. But some have survived longer, Lisa nodded. In extreme situations, some people have survived much longer. There are stories of people surviving for months in terrible conditions. The alien's skin flashed bright red, then went black again. Your people, Zephiam said, are like the crocodiles. You are survivors. All life on Earth is like that, Jake said. Every animal, every plant, every tiny creature. They're all survivors. They've all been through disasters that would kill most life forms in the universe. Your world, Veltar said quietly, has created the toughest life forms in the galaxy. Lisa and Jake looked at each other. They were starting to understand what the aliens were thinking. From their perspective, Earth was a world where only the strongest and toughest could survive. Everything that lived on Earth was a champion survivor. We never thought about it that way, Lisa said. That's because it's normal for you, Veltar replied. You don't know how special you are. When Ambassador Veltar and Science Coordinator Zephiam returned the next day, they looked completely different. Their skin was showing colors that Jake and Lisa had never seen before. Bright golds and silvers mixed with deep blues and purples. The translation computer said these colors meant great respect and wonder at impossible things. The other 3 aliens came with them. Their skin was showing the same amazing colors. They all looked at Jake and Lisa with what could only be called awe. Dr. Morrison, Dr. Harper, Veltar began, we have spent these days thinking about everything. You told us. We have talked with our people back on our home world. We have shared what we learned about Earth. What did they think? Lisa asked. They were horrified, Zephiam said. But they were also amazed. Our people have never heard of a world like yours. A world that creates such strong life forms. Veltar stepped forward. His skin was now showing the brightest gold Lisa had ever seen. We need to tell you something important. When we first found your world, we thought it was empty. Empty? Jake asked. Our machines looked at your planet from far away, Veltar explained. They saw a world that had been hit by disasters many times. They saw ice ages and volcanic eruptions, and asteroid impacts. They saw violent storms and changing weather. Our machines told us that no intelligent life could survive on such a world. But you came anyway, Lisa said. We came to study the ruins, Zephiam said. We thought we might find the remains of civilizations that had been destroyed by your planet's disasters. Jake and Lisa looked at each other in amazement. Instead, Veltar continued, we found humans. We found a species that had not only survived on a disaster world, but had built cities and art and music. We found people who had reached for the stars from a planet that tried to kill them. That's when we knew you were special, said one of the other aliens. We had to meet you. We had to understand how you survived. Now we know, Zephiam said. You didn't just survive. You became strong. Every challenge your world threw at you made you tougher. Every disaster made you smarter. Every hard time made you better at working together. Veltar's skin was now showing patterns that the translation computer said meant highest honor. Dr. Morrison, when you told us about crocodiles that could survive 2 years without food, you weren't just telling us about animals. You were telling us about champions. You were telling us about life forms that had beaten the impossible. And humans, said another alien, are the greatest champions of all. You took a world that kills most things and made it your home. You took disasters and learned from them. You took hardship and became stronger. Lisa felt tears in her eyes. She had never thought about humans this way. To her, people were just normal. But to these aliens, humans were incredible survivors who had done the impossible. We have a gift for you, Veltar said. Our people have decided to invite Earth to join something very special. We call it the Survivors Alliance. What's that? Jake asked. It's a group of species that have survived great hardships, SciFi explained. For many years, we thought we were the only ones who qualified. But we were wrong. We hadn't survived hardships. We had lived easy lives on easy worlds. The Survivors Alliance was created for species like yours, Veltar continued. Species that have faced the worst the universe can give and come out stronger. Until now, we thought such species were just stories. You mean there are others like us? Lisa asked. We don't know yet, Veltar said. But now we know what to look for. We know that survivor species exist. We know that life can be incredibly tough when it needs to be. The aliens all stepped forward. Together, their skin was showing the most beautiful colors Jake and Lisa had ever seen. We want to learn from you, SciFi said. We want to understand how you became so strong. We want to know how you kept your kindness and your art and your love while living on a world that tried to break you. That's the most amazing thing, Veltar added. You didn't just survive. You didn't become mean or cruel. You became creative and caring. You made music and stories and beautiful things while living through disasters. Jake thought about all the things humans had created. Art and music and books and movies. All of it made by people living on a world that regularly tried to kill them. We never thought about it that way, he said. That's because you're used to it, Veltar replied. You think surviving disasters and making beautiful things is normal, but it's not normal. It's amazing. The meeting continued for hours. The aliens wanted to know everything about human culture. They wanted to know about human art and music and stories. They wanted to understand how people could create such beauty while living through such hardship. There's something else we need to tell you, Veltar said as the meeting was ending. We're going to go back to our home world and tell everyone about Earth. We're going to tell them about the survivor world where life is so tough that animals can live for 2 years without food. Will they believe you? Lisa asked. They'll have to, SciFi said, because we have proof. We have pictures of your crocodiles. We have recordings of your stories. We have evidence that survivor species really exist. And we have you, Veltar added. We have met humans. We have seen what survivors look like. As the aliens prepared to leave, Veltar came to Jake one more time. Double quotes Dr. Morrison. Thank you for telling us about crocodiles. When you said they could survive 2 years without food, you taught us something very important. What's that? Jake asked. You taught us that the universe is full of incredible things. You taught us that life can be much stronger than we ever imagined. You taught us that surviving the impossible is possible. The alien ships left the next day. Jake and Lisa watched them go from the observation deck of the space station. Earth turned slowly below them, blue and green and beautiful. Do you think they're right? Lisa asked. Do you think we're really that special? Jake thought about crocodiles lying in the sun, waiting patiently for food that might not come for months. He thought about humans building cities after earthquakes, planting crops after floods, and reaching for the stars from a world that had tried to stop them. I think, he said slowly, that we've been survivors for so long that we forgot how hard it was supposed to be. The crocodiles know, Lisa said with a smile. They remember every disaster, every hard time, every moment when they had to choose between giving up and surviving. And they chose to survive, Jake said, just like everything else on Earth. Just like us, Lisa agreed. They stood there watching Earth turn, thinking about all the life on their world. Every animal, every plant, every tiny creature was a champion survivor. They had all made it through disasters that would have killed most life in the galaxy. You know what's funny? Jake said after a while. What? I was trying to impress them with how amazing our animals are. I wanted to show them the coolest things about Earth. And you did, Lisa said. You just didn't realize how impressive it really was. Jake laughed. I thought telling them about crocodiles surviving 2 years without food was just a fun fact. I had no idea it would blow their minds. To us, it's just nature, Lisa said. To them, it's proof that we live on the toughest world in the galaxy. They were quiet for a moment, watching the stars. Do you think there really are other survivor species out there? Lisa asked. Maybe, Jake said. But even if there are, I bet none of them have crocodiles that can go 2 years without food and then just act like it's no big deal. Lisa smiled. Or humans who build art museums after earthquakes. Or write love songs during wars. Or explore space from a planet that's trying to kill them. They both laughed. It felt good to laugh after such an intense few days. The aliens are going to go home and tell stories about us, Lisa said. They're going to tell their people about the crazy humans from the disaster planet. And about the crocodiles, Jake added. Don't forget the crocodiles. Never, Lisa said. The crocodiles are the heroes of this story. Jake looked down at Earth one more time. Somewhere down there, crocodiles were lying in the sun, patient and ancient, carrying the memories of 1 billion years of survival. They had seen ice ages come and go. They had lived through asteroids and volcanoes and all the disasters that Earth could throw at them. And they were still here, still surviving, still waiting with endless patience for whatever came next. I wonder what the crocodiles would think if they knew they just made humans famous across the galaxy, Jake said. They'd probably just blink once and go back to sleep, Lisa replied. They've got more important things to worry about, like whether they'll need to survive another 2 years without food. And they could do it, Jake said with admiration. They could absolutely do it. That's what makes them Earth creatures, Lisa said. That's what makes all of us Earth creatures. We can do the impossible, and we think it's just Tuesday. As they walked back through the space station, Jake felt different. Somehow, the meeting with the aliens had changed the way he saw his own world. Earth wasn't just home anymore. It was a training ground for champions. A place where only the strongest, smartest, and most adaptable could survive. And humans had not only survived, they had thrived. They had built civilizations and created beauty and reached for the stars, all while living on a world that regularly tried to wipe out all life. We really are incredible, aren't we? He said to Lisa.